Hey you guys, GameBoy30 here once again. We're back in Beam, and today is the release of version 8.5 of my main packs for adjustable add-ons and specialized add-ons. We're going to go over the main feature of adjustable add-ons first. First of all, there's new presets for Blackmagic, or revamped presets for Blackmagic, including the White World Finals Edition that I swear I added before, but I guess I missed out on because I'm bad. Anyways, we're going to take the 12K version of Blackmagic around the circuit. This is Custom World Finals, so it's a long straight with some tight turns. It's a big stopping zone. And we can imagine that after a couple laps around, our brakes start to get hot. Would you take a look at that? Our brake sticks are now glowing. And what is that? We can hit the brakes in midair and spark them? What is this? Yep. We have glowing and sparking brakes. But they're different from before. I did show this before. But they were kind of a beta feature. Now these are fully implemented. And the best part is they are universal. That means you can put these on any body, any truck, any paint, instead of just being paint specific. This idea was originally done by BMX Justin by looking at the brake light coding and applying it to the brake discs. But that gave you the odd thing of you can just quickly spam the brakes like I'm doing now. You can see in the top right corner, and it would flash the brakes red every time. That's kind of annoying, so I have made a toggle on the headlights. So if we turn off the headlights, you can simulate them cooling back down, and when you think they're getting hot, you can turn them on. Now, why am I not just coding this to go directly to the brake temperatures? Well, it's because CRD doesn't have like brake thermals like enabled enough for it to ever cause brakes to overheat, so they would never glow red, which is kind of silly. But oh well. I told Hank about that, and he said wait for resize, and I'm like, ugh, whatever. So, for now they're just a toggle. Likewise, the brake sparks are also a toggle. You hit the effect button, the same effect button you'd use for like the Max D sparks or like El Toro Loco smoke or fire. And you get brake sparks coming out from by the brakes, causing quite the shower. And if you time your brakes and your sparks like in midair, you get some really legit looking screenshots or replay mode scenarios. So it's really cool like that. A lot of realism. And just to show that we can put these on any body, or any paint rather. Well, first of all, I'll show off the World Finals Edition paint, since I don't think I have showed that off for a while. And we're going to go to the flag as well. And the center flag will be the World Finals flag. And I'll show you where the brakes are as well. If we go to the suspension tab on any of my chassis, we go to suspension with glowing brakes. If we go to here, you can see I have made it easy for you to see and copy if you want to add your own custom colors and different like types of brake rotors. So here we go. We're going to have Blackmagic 16K World Finals Edition. I hit A. I'm very smart, so I'm just going to apply that again. I'm smart. Yep, Blackmagic World Finals. And, yep, we can take a look. We have white glowing brakes now to go with this white themed truck. And if you've never seen this truck before, it is quite cool. It's almost wholly inverted version of regular Blackmagic, but I have tuned the gamma and given it a custom roof. But let's show that we can put this on anything, any body. We go to the body and change it to literally anything else. We'll see, it should work fine. What's a good example? The Escalade, the classic. So now we see if we turn on the headlights, we'll have the white glowing brakes from the other option. But if we go ahead, have this like on the default, like when you normally spawn into suspension. Here we go. Now when we turn on the headlights, we'll have them be red brakes, and they can throw sparks. Look at that. That's pretty cool looking. Yep. Anything that fits on my chassis will fit on this. Now maybe for a future update or hotfix, whatever, maybe I can move it, this glowing brake slot down to something like the RAI, since they're kind of lights. They're kind of coded like lights, so it can be maybe part of the RAI. Like it could be left lane RAI with glowing brakes, or just like center glowing brakes, something like that. I don't know. Give me an idea. I'm all to new ideas. Speaking of new ideas, we're going to have a quick go with War Machine here with a new engine coming to Specialized Add-ons pack. This is the 24-liter Napier Lion engine. Now, if you've never heard of Napier, it's just an old airplane manufacturer. And these engines were put in a lot of things, from airplanes to even some land speed record cars. A good example of that is the good old Napier Railton. It had this engine, and it made 580 horsepower and 1,250 foot-pounds of torque. In the 1920s, early 1930s, that was insane, you know? And take a look at this engine. It's different from the other 12-cylinder engines I have in Specialized Add-ons pack. Where there's a V12, this is a W12, or a 444 as it's also called. We have a bank of cylinders on the left, bank of cylinders on the right, and now a bank of cylinders up top. And if we take a look at the exhaust, I like the exhaust a lot. That was quite a challenge to code, because look, we got 4 exhaust patterns going to the left, 4 exhausts going to the right, and 4 exhausts going out the left top. And if we take a look at, what's that? Like the exhaust nodes there, the blue lines, it is a work of art. At least I think so. Now this only has 580 horsepower, but we can adjust the RPM. And Wikipedia told me that there was one example of a supercharged version of this engine. Although if we take a look at the engine, this is how I found it on like a 3D warehouse or whatever I found it on. It's not got a spot for a supercharger, and all the tubes are for naturally aspirated only. So I did have to fabricate a lot of my own pieces here, or modify existing pieces, in order to get this supercharger to fit. Take a look. Shoved on a rotating supercharger with a gigantic 3-to-1 carburetor, all going to the 3-cylinder banks. And now we have more than doubled the horsepower almost, to almost 1100 from 500, so yep. It's quite powerful now. And this does have a adjusted torque converter to go with the low horsepower. So if we reset this to whatever it was before, there we go. It'll behave more like a regular CRD, and because it only has 400, 500 less horsepower than a regular CRD, it may feel slower, especially with the extra weight, but it'll feel more familiar and not feel slightly busted. And now we're supercharged, making 20-odd pounds of boost at only 2,000 RPM. That's insane. I would love for this engine to be used for like a league, like, you know, in my league chassis I've shown off before with all the standardized parts, but it's just too big. It'd be too silly. But oh well. Anyways, alongside all the V12 engines I've showed before, like the Allisons, the Junkers, the Daimler-Benz, and the existing Merlin V12 that's been out before, this update should be quite insane. And they're out now. Right now on Beam Monsters. Yep. Linked in the description. You can download these right now. Go ahead, check it. Take a look at the other preview video I did a week ago or a week or two ago. And it goes over all the other engines and the earlier version of the brake sparks. Just know that, you know, I've since refined that to be a headlight toggle, and now the sparks are now way better than before. That's it. What are you guys waiting for? Go get it. I'll see you all in the future. If you have any other crazy ideas, I just might do them. Leave them in the comment. Goodbye, everybody.